What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today I want to talk specifically to non-union electricians. But for all of you who are union members, who are part of the IBEW, rank and filers, this is going to be a helpful video for you as well, I hope. But for you non-union electricians out there, cast that work for those non-union outfits, where you're told that you don't want to become union, you don't want to be a union member, because you're gonna have to pay dues, and that's a portion of your check. They're taking your money from you, and you get laid off, and you can't stay employed if you're in a union. All of these lies that they tell you. I want to inform you guys that the reason they tell you these lies is because they need to run game on you. They know your bosses in those non-union contractor outfits. They know they can't match the union's wages. They know that they can't match the union's benefits. Let me ask you a question. For your hourly wage, are you taking money out of your hourly pay to buy health care? Is that costing you money on your hourly pay? Because if it is, and let's go with this, you can choose to not have insurance and you'll get paid a higher hourly rate, right? That's a lot of times that's how it works. Now, what if I told you that we get a higher hourly wage and our healthcare does not come out of our hourly rate? So for us to have healthcare, we don't get a lower wage. Our wages are not affected with the healthcare. That's negotiated on top of that. These are things that you're not told. And then they tell you, oh, you're going to be laid off all the time. Let me explain something to you. Even if you do get laid off, I want you to know something. That's a normal part. The job comes to an end. Sometimes you gotta lay people off and send them back to the hall. But let me tell you something. You go back to the hall, there are calls coming in for work. People that need journeyman wiremen, people that need apprentices, people that need helpers, people that need residential wiremen, people that need electricians, companies that need electricians. There are calls that come into the hall daily. So how long are you going to be out of work? A week maybe, if that. Right now, the work picture is so expansive, we don't even have enough members to cover all of the work that we have projected over the next 10 to 15 years. You know how much work is coming for electricians over the next 10 years? We can't man it all. Now, I tell you all of this to tell you, brother, we need you in our union. You should be in our union. You should earn better wages for the work that you do, because the work that you do is very dangerous. Now, some of y'all might be thinking, Eric, why are you making this video? Well, it's because today I came across a non-union worker who was changing out an emergency exit sign at a CVS, so I went to go pick up a prescription. And I spoke to him on the way in. I said, hey, brother, how you doing? Went and got my prescription. When I was walking out, I stopped and I said, hey, man, is that circuit live? And Buddy was like, yeah, it's coming off of this fixture. It's part of the emergency lighting circuit. I said, yeah, I know. I said, you should really turn that circuit off and work it dead so that it's safe. He was like, yeah, I know. And I asked him, I said, hey, let me ask you a question. What's keeping you from joining the union? Have you ever thought about it? He said, yeah, I think about it from time to time. I said, what's holding you back? Oh, I don't want to be laid off. It's right there. So I informed him. I said, hey, man, the work picture over the next 10 years, we got more work than we can handle. I said, and there's guys in our local that's making $200,000 a year with all the overtime that's coming. And his eyes got big. I said, dude, we get healthcare, dental, vision, like better wages. I said, bruh, you should really look into it and join the union. And then I gave him the information for IBW Local 26. And he told me he would look into it. But it made me think. I'm like, man, how many non-union brothers are out there and sisters that are out there that just are misinformed about unions and don't know that the union way is the better way, because collective bargaining is the way to go. Bargaining by yourself, you got no power. None. But bargaining collectively, there's power there. Anyway, my name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Y'all keep in mind, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. So let's go. Peace.